I like to think of life in the way of funnels. The idea that every action we're doing is in trying to get some sort of reaction or result. Yet we do not usually get those reactions or results based on one action. We usually have to do a certain amount of certain actions in order to get them. The first time this ever really came apparent to me was when I was first applying for jobs just out of university. The idea that I would need to send hundreds of emails to get maybe 10 responses, and then from those 10 responses, I would get maybe one interview. But we also won't talk about how many interviews I needed back then. In thinking about this, I started to formulate ideas of, okay, you really do have to do the same thing over and over and over in order to get a chance at getting the result. And in most parts of life, this is a thing that can happen. If you want to work out, you have to keep going to the gym, doing the same thing in and out, day in, day out. And the idea being that you will not get the results right away. You have to do the same thing over and over until you do get the results. It's like a funnel. 100 of something, to 10 of something, to then 1 of something. And these numbers are arbitrary. Sometimes it's 10 things you need to get done, sometimes it's thousands. And figuring out what that is in regards to the actions that we are taking is one of those things that really has gotten me a lot further in life than most other actions I've taken. This really started to show when I was creating art on a daily basis. The idea that each day I needed to make something and post it and share it. I had an accountability in regards to that. But in doing so, I wasn't focused on the quality. I was just doing something every day. But the thing is, in doing the quantity that I was doing, the amount of work that I was doing, I was learning, I was constantly improving, refining my skills, so my quality actually came from the quantity in which I was producing. This was a huge epiphany for me, because then I started applying this into all other areas of my life. Being able to look at a goal that I was trying to achieve and work backwards and figuring out, okay, what is the thing that I need to do over and over in order to get a chance at improving my status in the funnel. I can move forward to that next stage where it is a case of, oh, I don't need to do as many of that thing now, I just need to do this thing. A good example is these videos. You look at the ones that I was making at first and you look at the quality of this one now, and there are very small details that have changed. But that refinement only came through me doing this over and over, going, oh, that is something I need to fix, that's something I can refine, that is something that I can spend more time with. But at the end of the day, the only way this continues moving forward is if I keep making these videos. And regrettably, I haven't been able to the past couple of weeks. But I'm now back into this, remembering that the funnels are the way that I'm going to succeed in life. One of my favorite lessons I ever learned, and sadly I cannot remember who actually taught it to me, is that you look at any sort of successful business owner or someone who is successful in their craft. Most of the time, they're not smarter. They don't have some sort of biological benefit that you do not have. They do not have a heads up in the race. What they do have, however, is the stubbornness to not quit. It may be a stupid decision to keep knocking your head against a certain thing, or at least it will seem like it at the time. But it's by doing that over and over and over again that you continue moving forward towards the goal that you've set. Look at a coastline. There are huge rocks and boulders that if you try and hit with a glass of water, not going to do much. You can splash it, it will just run right off. But if you have that water hitting the same spot over and over and over hundreds of years, there will be nothing left. And that in itself is an amazing motivation to me. The idea that I don't need to be special. I'm not special. All I need to do, though, is be stubborn enough to keep doing the thing that I think will get me where I want to go. Now, there is something to be said about pivoting the perception of what you are doing. If you learn new information that changes what you're meant to be doing, then you can pivot. But that shouldn't be an excuse for you to just give up. I, for one, know that I can be a very, very stubborn bastard at times. But if I can use that to my benefit in the areas of life that are going to help me achieve the goals that I want to achieve, then I guess that's what I'm doing. So then the question comes, well, what are the funnels that I'm looking at right now? And in looking at these funnels, you have to first also go, okay, I am going to be signing up to a lot of repetitive tasks in the same nature, and it will become a struggle. Having to do the same thing over and over and over is not going to be energizing. You can gamify it as much as you want. It's still going to be boring in regards to the things that you need to do in order to move forward. Sure, some people might find pleasure in lifting weights, but if you want to build muscle and you don't like lifting weights, well, guess what? You still have to do it. And once you have that mentality, you really start to become dangerous because you go, okay, even though this sucks, I am the type of person that is stubborn enough to move through this in order to do it enough times to continue moving forward in my journey. It's not a matter of quality every single time. It's a matter of getting the quality from the quantity. If you just keep doing the same thing, it is unreasonable that it will not happen. And again, do not use this as a blanket statement to ignore information that tells you otherwise. If there is something that is blatantly showing you after you've done all that repetition that it is not working, then pivot it. Don't completely change, but pivot it so that there is something different about it that improves what you're doing. Because it is also an improvement machine. You are building the plane as you fly it, yes, but at the same time, you are learning what needs to be fixed, what needs to be refined, and you can make the best thing because you have actual information that's showing you this is what I've been doing and this is what needs to get done. And by having that information, it's much better than everyone else going, okay, so if I'm gonna do that thing, I first need to build a plane. How does a plane get built? I think it does this, this, and this. And it doesn't give you the information that you will need because everyone's journey is different in that regard. Yes, there is a lot of information online, there is a lot of information from mentors and people around you, but at the same time, there is no better lesson than you doing the thing over and over and over. So pick the goal that you want to go towards. Figure out, okay, if I want to achieve an interview at a job, I want to get a job at a certain type of industry. Okay, well, once I know that the goalpost is getting the job, I need to move before that and go, okay, I need to get interviews. Well, how do I get interviews? Well, I need to get noticed by the people who are actively looking to interview people. Okay, how do I do that? Well, I can email out to them and call them. I can do all of these outreach things in order to get in front of them. Okay, how do I do that? Well, I have to write an email. I have to find a number. I have to do those things over and over and over again. I have to practice them. I have to refine what I'm saying to them in order to get to that next stage. And you can do this in all areas of your life. What is the task that you want to achieve? Sit down, figure out what the step before the one you want is, and then break that one down, and what's the step before that? Each step is probably going to have 4 or 5 of the same thing that needs to get done at the very least. Because the more you do something, the more likely you are to receive that result. So, if you want a new job somewhere, you're going to have to do hundreds, if not thousands of emails to potentially get that. So I ask you, are you the person that can be stubborn enough to achieve the goals that you want to achieve? Because if not, maybe you should give up on that one. Because every single journey, if you really want to work into it, is a funnel. And funnels are a game of numbers. Yes, there is refinement to take the funnel and refine it so you don't have to do as many things in order to get the result that you want. But it is still a funnel at the end of the day. And that's something I need to honestly, consistently remind myself, that it is a game of funnels. It is a game of effort and doing the same thing over and over, refining and getting a little bit better each time so that the funnel becomes easier. But it is still a funnel. You still have to put in the work, you still have to put in the numbers, and you can start paying attention to the effort you're putting in versus the results that you're not getting. And trust me, when you are judging yourself based on the effort you put in, you feel so much better about yourself because you are actually seeing that you have been making progress versus the idea of, oh, I want to achieve X. If you don't achieve it, then you don't get it. So spend some time thinking about what the goal you want to achieve is, what the funnel you're working towards is. If you want some help with this, feel free to click the link in the description to come join the Discord where we're actively talking about things like this. We're actually doing a 30-day challenge in order to help others work through the things they need to work through in order to achieve the goals they want to achieve. So if you want to be part of that, again, the link is in the description. And likewise, thank you for joining along with this journey. It's been something that I've really enjoyed, and being able to share these insights that I've gained over the years has been something that I found very valuable. So thank you again for watching. Feel free to subscribe, join along with the journey. I'm making all sorts of videos like this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.